We welcome everyone joining us on another edition of the Stingers Up Sacramento State Football Podcast. Glad you're here with us. I'm Jason Ross. Lots for us to cover this week, including a look back at the win last week for the Hornets in the home opener against Nicholls State. We also have to recognize the National Defensive Player of the Week, Will Leota. We'll have a conversation with him. We will preview the upcoming game against Texas A&M Commerce, the final one before Big Sky League play begins, and then we'll wrap things up with kind of a segment on the news of the week. Lots going on in college football and the shakeup, and how could that impact the Sacramento State Hornets. But let's jump right into it. We always like to look back at the game previously. It was a win for the Hornets. Lots of highlights here. And on the call on the radio on Saturday was Dave Lewis, Steve McElroy, Danny Sullivan. And so let's get some audio recap of how that went. It started with the first possession, first time with the ball. Everything went well, including the close of the opening drive.
Ball spotted on the 11-yard line. Hornets with their first possession, 12:41 to play in the first period. Malini and Tolliver in the backfield. They run Elijah outside left, turn the corner inside the 10, inside the 5. Tolliver into the end zone for a Sacramento State touchdown. They made that look easy.
He lulled him to sleep. As he went around the corner, he was running about 75% speed and then noticed the hole was going to be going to the pylon. That was as good of a drive as I've ever seen. I think it was 3 runs and 3 passes the length of the field.
Balance and dominance.
Following that, the first sequence for Nicholls did not go well for them, as there was a theme for the night: pressure on the quarterback all evening long.
9:45 to play opening period. Sac State 7, Nicholls nothing. Dropping back to throw is McQuaid from the shotgun. Steps up, pocket collapses, down he goes. Dragged down at the 28-yard line. Ben Ahil making the sack for Sacramento State.
Big Ben with the sack. The Hornets' offensive line didn't allow a sack a week ago. Brousseau has 2 sacks on the season, and Big Ben gets one there. The senior 269-pounder.
So we've heard from offense, we've heard from defense. How about the very next play? Special teams would stand up.
Kylan Dupree will kick it away for Nicholls. Back to return to Anderson Grover for Sacramento State. Grover standing on his 30-yard line. 4th down and 10. Ball comes loose. Getting it back and thrown for a loss. Ball still alive. Picked up by Sacramento State, but I believe they blew it dead to 7. Hornets will get it in great shape, deep in Nicholls territory.
Oh.
I thought that ball was live.
Yeah, they must have blown the whistle because the ball came loose and ended up on the ground. The Hornets ended up picking it up.
Already 7-0, and with great field position, the Hornets would cash in.
This is a 25-yard field goal try. Snap back, ball down. Kick is up. And it is good.
Kick is good.
7:58 to play in the opening period. For the Hornets, 2 possessions, 2 scores. Sac State 10, Nicholls nothing.
All right, the second quarter now up 10-0, and offense keeps flowing. How about this one? Freshman to freshman for a score.
Conklin takes the shotgun snap, retreats, steps up, pocket collapses, rolls to his right, fires far sideline. Caught by Scudero inside the 5-yard line. And good for a Sac State touchdown. Tiptoeing along the sideline, spinning, and into the end zone. What a throw by Conklin.
Okay, you don't have to be quick and nimble to be fabulous. And Conklin dipped his head down like a sea tortoise and got under the defender and then got away, stepped up. He could have run for the first down, but instead he throws a long touchdown pass. Those are the instincts of a good quarterback.
Brandon Knott had missed the first couple of games for Sacramento State. Well, his presence was felt on Saturday.
3rd down for Nicholls. Big possession for the Colonels. They need to score in a big way. 6.5 to go. 17-0 Sac State. 3 receivers right, Guggenheim in the backfield. McQuaid takes the shotgun snap. Play action, pocket collapses. McQuaid, down he goes. Throw down at the 15-yard line.
Was he wrestled down? What did that look like? That looked like a rodeo, the way he was tackled. Brandon Knott. Was that Brandon Knott?
Knott, Casciola.
Again, more special teams play from the Hornets group. Jeremy LePan's special teams unit had a big night. Here's another big play from special teams.
Made a 38-yarder. Snap back, ball down. Kick is up. It's blocked. Live ball. Taken at the 20-yard line. Now at the 23. The Hornets get it. Special teams stepping up tonight.
A block punt and a block field goal. in the same half. Noel, the coach said special teams. Andy Thompson wanted all three sides to do well, and they did right there with the blocked field goal.
All right, as we move along in the game, one of the better plays wasn't a score or a sack, but was a beautiful throw. Again, this one is from Carson Conklin, who got the start for the injured Caden Bennett. He finds Danny Scudero for a gain of 40.
Play action, dropping back to throw as Conklin steps up, fires a rainbow, dropped a diamond beautifully to Scudero. Danny loose inside the 20, Scudero inside the 15-yard line. What touch by Conklin, dropping that in.
You saw the zone defense split apart, and then suddenly the Hornets found the opening in the zone and lobbed it perfectly into it. That was a touch pass. That was a thing of beauty. And then every time Scudero gets the ball, he's dangerous. He's so fast.
Zeke Burnett had missed the first couple of games, hadn't really been a presence yet in the backfield, showed some promise last year. Well, he got a carry near the goal line, and he would punch it in to make it 24-0.
Now try the run. Zeke Burnett, second level, into the end zone for a Sacramento State touchdown. From 14 yards out and untouched.
Aiden Meek shall inherit the earth because the big guy from Bakersfield opened up the biggest hole you've ever seen. It's an exaggeration to say that we could have run through the hole, but anyone could have run through that. That was a great block, and wow. He didn't even run full speed. That was wide
effortless.
Open.
Zeke into the end zone for the first time.
We mentioned earlier that Will Leota, the linebacker, was named National Defensive Player of the Week. Well, here's one of his highlights for the Hornets.
Third down, 10 to go. McQuaid, pocket collapses, down he goes.
McQuaid is sacked.
No chance. Leota brings him down on the blitz.
And again, we've got a conversation with Will coming up here momentarily. How about Elijah Tautoliver? He's off to a good start as the featured back for the Hornets. Got over 100 yards in week 1 and would go over 100 in week 3.
Two receivers, right, one left. Tautoliver in the backfield. Give it to Elijah again across the 40. He's got his 100 inside the 30. Tautoliver inside the 25-yard line.
He's fired up. He's fired up because he knows it.
He did know in that situation that he had his second 100-yard game. Good to see. Now, one last highlight for the Hornets, and let's get that one final score.
Third down and 4 to go. Dropping back as Conklin. Here comes the blitz. Lets it go. Pass caught. And into the end zone for a touchdown. That is Coots. No, that's Ontario Smith, 12. His first collegiate touchdown.
Conklin was hit as he threw, and he didn't get up. He got picked up by a teammate, and he's limping, but he's still celebrating.
What a moment for Ontario Smith.
That is great.
Well, hopefully many more for Ontario Smith Jr. You always know and will always remember your first touchdown. So the Hornets got the win, impressive over Nicholls State, 34-7 the final. Dominant performance, now 1-2. We had said all along that through 4 games they need to get to 2-2. Well, they need to win their next game against Texas A&M Commerce. We'll talk about that coming up. But Conklin got the start, no Caden Bennett. You had Danny Scudero, who had a big game, over 100 yards, but got banged up a little bit. So a couple things to watch as the week and the weeks roll along. As far as the defense, they were great. They were just absolutely dominant. The only score they gave up was a pick-6. That wasn't really even on them. Will Leota and company had 7 sacks, the most for the Hornets since they had 10 against Idaho State back in 2011. And Leota got recognized as the National Player of the Week. All right, here with senior linebacker Will Leota. Congrats on that, by the way. How's that sound? That's a pretty cool honor.
Yeah, I appreciate it. It's a huge honor, just huge reflection about how the team and the guys been doing their job too, so it's good.
Well, your week was great. I mean, did 10 tackles, I think 3 for losses, couple sacks. How did you feel about your own individual game?
I thought I did good. I felt like I'm keeping the standard that we got here at SAC and trying to hit my goals individually too as well.
I've been saying on the broadcast, it's kind of amazing that you were Big Sky honorable, or not honorable mention, but accolades going into the season, and you never even played it down for the Hornets. That's a lot of respect you have from people knowing you at Utah Tech. How did that feel coming in as a Hornet and already getting recognized?
It felt good. You know, I spent 3 years at Utah Tech. It was a grind over there, and it's good to see, like, being on the radar for something like that, so it's good.
So what brought you here? How did it end up? I know they had some coaching changes at Utah Tech. Is that kind of what got this ball rolling?
Yeah, so our whole entire staff actually got fired over there at Utah Tech. So my gut feeling was to hop in the portal. I didn't want to have to do another restart for my last year. So got in the portal. Lucky enough to get Coach Mishi Tupe, was my linebacker DC at Utah Tech, now my linebacker coach here. And also my brother Ezra playing here. Playing running back here has been good. And Coach Thompson, huge influence on me coming here too. He's a great guy.
So you knew the Hornets. You played them a couple times, but I'm sure other teams were interested in you. So between your coach, Ezra, being a family here, what else kind of drew you to be a Hornet?
Yeah, so playing Sac twice out of my 3 years over there. We lost both times. The second time was a little bit worse than the first time. And I remember that feeling of in 22 when we lost, and throughout the season, I just remember how bad they beat us, and it was just man, that's something I would want to be a part of at one point, and now I'm here, so it's perfect.
And you're a big part of what the defense does. Tell us what makes a good linebacker. What do you have to be doing at all times, pre-snap, in play? Just take us through kind of playing the position.
I think for us, communication for sure. We got to be the voice on the defensive side. Having your eyes right, I think that's a big thing. That can tell you a lot, especially throughout the week watching film, tendencies, and seeing formation. So the eyes. And then third, I think playing with no fear. I think that's a big part. Not second-guessing yourself, whether that's physically no fear or mentally no fear, just shooting your shot.
Yeah. How often do you think you have the play right, or pre-snap you're thinking something, you're reading something? How accurate are you on your instincts there?
I don't want to toot my own horn, but I feel like I'm accurate. I feel like we prepare enough throughout the week. The coaches get us right too, and the scout team give us a good look. So to what we're gonna see in the game, and so I think I trust myself enough, to shoot my shot.
Yeah. What is it about your coach here that you followed, Coach Misi, as well, that you've had obviously a connection for a long time, that just wanted you to be with him again?
I mean, the way he coaches, he's a hard-nosed guy. He gets us right, and he harps on effort. I think that something that has elevated my game a lot is playing with great effort and always trying to be where the ball is. So I think that's one thing I took from Misi for sure.
So your first game as a Hornet, there's a lot of excitement. You're in San Jose, and we're barely into the game, and they call you for targeting. One seemed like a tough call, but you have to sit out. You're done the rest of the game. What did you think about that incident, and just kind of that was a tough way to begin your Hornet career?
Right. In football, we know this a lot of the times. It's not up to us what the ref calls. So I feel like I could have used better technique tackling the quarterback in order to prevent that. But it was also a hard pill to swallow, being first game and opposing first cousin playing on that team too.
Oh.
So yeah, it was a big game, but that had to happen. Almost broke me on the sideline, not gonna lie, but I remember that I can make an impact whether I'm in pads or not, and so I was just trying to coach the guys up.
So you had to play up twice. San Jose State could have got that one, could have had the Fresno game if a few things go your way, but you bounced back. Home opener, you guys played really well against Nicholls. What do you think you have? You've seen this team play for 3 weeks. You've been in camp. You've seen all the workouts and stuff. What do you think you guys can do this year?
I have full confidence in our team, offense, special teams, and even defense, to go and compete for the conference championship for sure, and hopefully the national championship. We have guys that are bought in and love the process here, so I think it's all green lights for us. And yeah.
How about, you got the accolades this week, but 7 sacks as a defense, most since I think 2011. What was going right with you guys as a defense to get that much pressure?
D-line, man, those guys are some dogs up front. Yeah, they like to eat. So I don't know. In practice, it shows because D-line eats in practice. Linebackers try to get in there too, make our impact in the pass rush. I think that everyone was just hungry for a win. We had 2 games, like you said, on the road, tough losses, and we knew we had to perform in front of the home fans. So.
Yeah. You mentioned a family on the team, Ezra, running back on the Hornets, and you missed him playing against him when you were at Utah Tech, but now I'm sure you've butted heads a few times in practice. How's that gone?
Oh, man, it's always a great matchup going against Six. He's a hard runner, He's big bro, so, he got his stance, but little bro always gets a good 1-2 hit in there, so it's good. It's been fun. Great experience so far.
What's your favorite play you make as a linebacker? Because you could get a sack, you could get a big hit, you could get a pick. What gives you the most satisfaction?
For me, I would say interception.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I feel like that's one thing because I know that in high school, like that was my main thing was trying to get interceptions. And I love hitting. And I love getting sacks, but I think interception is my favorite, yeah.
You got one at Fresno, and once that happens, are you thinking, I'm scoring?
Yeah, that's the mindset for sure. And, adrenaline runs. I could have went the whole different side and scored, but adrenaline hit, and I just felt good at getting that pick, running with the ball. It's been a minute. Yeah.
How about your offense? You don't have to play them anymore, but you go against them and did in camp. What do you think about what you guys are doing on that side?
I think that our offense is actually very good offense. They just have a couple more things they got to put together, and it's going to be really bad for opposing defenses. They stretch the ball wide. They throw it deep. They run the ball inside the tackles. Up front, I think that physical up front for sure, and hard-nosed football, and a smart offense coordinator too, calling great plays. So I think our offense is incredible.
How about for you? You got the rest of the season to go, final year of eligibility, more football in your future. What would you like to do after this year?
Yeah, that's the goal. I plan to play football after this year and continue to play. And if that does not work out in my favor, I feel like going back to what I played in high school, playing rugby after too.
Really?
Yes, sir.
Wow. So I'm interested about rugby. What's the differences there? Obviously, they're both physical. They're both a lot of contact, one without pads. Do you feel one safer than the other?
I think that rugby is a little bit safer just because when you hit, it's like you don't have the pads and stuff to hit, but it's more technique tackles, and it's not like equipment hitting your body limbs or anything like that. So I feel like it's a little safer.
So if you had a rugby game on the weekend and Hornet football instead on the weekend, which one takes you longer to recover from?
A football game for sure. Yeah, after a football game, I feel like I've been in a car crash, and so the body takes a toll, and it's them linemen up front. Really, it's those 300-pound guys across the board, and going against them every day, every play it takes a toll for sure.
How about your impressions of Sacramento? You grew up in Salt Lake, that's where you're from, and you were at Utah Tech out there. How's Sacramento compare, and how have you enjoyed it so far?
It's a lot hotter than I thought it was going to be when I came out here. It's actually good though. I really like it. It's like a big little city, nothing too much going on, and everyone's friendly, so it's been a good experience. Yeah.
And how about your first experience? You've been at Hornet Stadium before, but coming out of that tunnel and being the first time at home, how was that?
It was good. It still feels like a little bit weird wearing green still, but I'm getting used to it, and I'm loving it so far.
Yeah. Well, I know the team's happy to have you. Fans are happy to have you. Congrats on your success. Congrats on your honor, and best of luck rest of the season.
I appreciate it. Thank you.
All right, my thanks to Will Leota for joining us on his conversation. Get to know him a little bit better. He's brand new to the program. Now, as far as the Hornets go this week, they prepare for yet another road game, another Southland Conference opponent, and they go to Texas A&M Commerce. They had signed a home and home on the schedule, hosted them last year, now go to Commerce this year. And this is an improved team. Their record is 0-3, but they've had their chances to win. Last week, lost in overtime to Grambling. 2 weeks ago, they came out this way and lost to UC Davis when Commerce, the Lions, were driving down 7 with the ball, had converted a 4th down, but then had a pick 6. And so Davis ended up winning that one by a couple of scores. But knowing that, Sacramento State should know that this is going to be a difficult game. It's another road game, and, of course, they want to have things tightened up, hopefully 2-2 if they can get the win before Big Sky play starts the following week. So that's kind of an overview of the team. We heard from Will Leota. Now let's talk about a bigger picture as we pull out and look at what is going on with college football and realignment. So after the Hornets played Fresno State, I think it was the next day, Sunday, there was word that the Pac-12 was going to recruit and take from the Mountain West teams like San Diego State, Boise State, Colorado State, and Fresno State. That gives them 6 if you pair them with Oregon State and Washington State, but that does not make it a complete conference. So there's 2 open spots. Mountain West also becomes a conference that may be looking to add schools and universities. Well, you probably have heard the news by now. Of course, the Pac-12 is formed, and that's leaders in the general area of Sacramento that really want to do what's best for the school, want a higher profile. All that stuff makes sense. Now, what I can tell you and what I know is, first and foremost, you have to be invited to these conferences. So why would Sac State be invited to the Pac-12? Why would Sac State be invited to the Mountain West? Well, I would say their biggest advantage they have is the market. Being in Sacramento, being in California, those are areas that would be of interest to both the Mountain West and the Pac-12. What's going against Sacramento State is the current facilities. Being an FCS team, moving up to the FBS is a big jump. It's a process. It can be done. The odds are probably against the Hornets, but that doesn't mean they can't dream and can't shoot for the stars here. As far as the school's handling of it, I had a chance to talk to Mark Orr, the athletic director, on halftime at the TV, and he's right. Like, look, they want what's best for the school, what's best for the university. They're still a member of the Big Sky, and I think they're happy in the Big Sky, but that doesn't mean that if things can go forward, that they wouldn't pursue it. But football stadium, basketball arena, and all the sports, all would need upgrades. Again, possible, but follow the money train. You got to start getting a lot more things invested in the Hornets. But here's an area that could help. Just this week, it was passed on campus that student tuition is going to go up. Part of that is going to go to athletics. That's one area, but we're talking lots more money needs to happen, lots more things. But, if you're talking about stadiums and naming rights, there's avenues and there's roads, but you still have to have interest from all parties. You still have to have an invite. And so this is something that's going to be needed to be watched, and we will watch, we will follow, we will report what we find out. But it's fun. It's fun that the Hornets are even mentioned. I would have said 5 to 10 years ago, as much as I would have dreamt of something like this, I just didn't think it at all possible. But over the last couple of years, the day UCLA and USC went to the Big Ten, I think about everything that happened right after that. Boom, there goes Arizona and Arizona State to the Big 12. Washington and Oregon wanted to get in the Big 10. They ultimately got in. Cal and Stanford had to scramble. They go to the ACC, leaving 2 teams. And after Utah and Colorado also had jumped to the Big 12. So when chaos becomes opportunity, there might be some opportunities. The Sac-12 obviously is shooting for the stars, and the Pac-12, Mountain West still could be a possibility. But I think you got to watch, see if there's more shuffling, see what happens with Air Force. I know the Pac-12, I think, was interested in UNLV, but I think Nevada, the state of Nevada, wanted Reno to go with. So lots of moving parts, lots of things are still out there, something to continue to follow. So a lot said there, but we will continue to watch it. We appreciate all of you, though, first and foremost, for listening to the podcast. Tell a friend, let them know we're out there. Support Hornet football. This week they're at Commerce. We'll be back next week to recap it all and to look ahead to the start of Big Sky play. So until then, have a great week, and always remember, Stingers up.